Hello, how are we all? Now welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a different one. Now today's video is going to be my 5 most successful past, present, currently still existing clients. The best transformation. I'm going to put the photo here somewhere on the screen, and I'm going to just talk pretty casually about how many times they were training per week, what was the time frame, what their nutrition was like, what sort of training split they were on, what an average sort of workout was for them, and give you the most relatable program to what they were on the Sculpt Academy, so you can perhaps go and check it out and look at how frequent they were training. So yeah, if you enjoy the video, give it a like, give me a thumbs up. It obviously massively helps the video. Give me some ideas, and if you like this video, further down in the comments, and I will get back to as many as possible. Now I have my phone and I have a folder of all of my best transformations. So literally everyone, whether it be Sculpt online, whether it be in person with me one-on-one from back in the day, and someone who I still train now, we're going to go through them. I've got literally a folder of 3,000 photos of transformation photos. So yeah, that is pretty much everyone over the last 7 years, and it is pretty intense because there's even some ex-girlfriends in there, so we'll not go on them. Right, we are going to start with Harry. Okay, I'm not going to put full names on there just in case you search and go and pester the life out of them. I don't know what weirdos, Tinder swindler and everything, people have been watching that. I don't know what weirdos are out there and what they could potentially get out of searching my past and present clients and talking to them about transformations, but you never know. Harry, you're going to see on the screen now. Now this guy has done the Sculpt Academy on and off for probably 2 years now. He has done a couple of different challenges, and this was probably the most successful and one of the most famous photos we have on my website. I'm going to say the difference in weight. I will put the figures here on the screen, the exact figures, but it was definitely a good few stone, and you can see the difference massively. Now, the time frame that this was done was probably, I'm going to say 4 to 6 months, and I'm going to confirm it on the screen somewhere around here. But this guy, honestly, training wise, was on a mix of maybe like the athlete blueprint, which is kind of what we're doing Sculpt, basically a lower and an upper session, an engine session on a Wednesday, so a big cardio session on a Wednesday, and then rest on Thursdays, and then Friday lower session number 2, which will probably be deadlift dominant, and Saturday session back to upper body. So basically 2 uppers, 2 lowers, an engine session during the week, and 2 rest days. So that is what Harry's week looked like. The most successful program that was on the athlete blueprint. He smashed it. He was very accountable, and the one thing that made him more successful than people in the past was his nutrition. Now he wasn't living like a monk by any means, and he wasn't sort of torturing himself in terms of nutrition, but he was very, very good at jumping on the flexible dieting protocol straight away. So I gave him calories, which probably started quite high and gradually came down. Obviously you can work that out for yourself if you need to know your calorie maintenance level, and then you can just go from there. But I worked out Harry's for his, I gave them to him. We readjusted it every 2 or 3 weeks anytime progress stalled, and we gradually obviously lowered the calories as he got lighter and lighter. And then 4, 5, 6 months down the line, he obviously made a dramatic transformation. But he was really consistent with training. The key things that he did to be successful, like I said, he wasn't eating bland foods and just eating chicken, rice and broccoli. He was getting super creative. I've seen this guy make tortilla pizzas with chicken on. I've seen him make healthy versions of sort of like tacos. I've seen him do everything. He just understood that if he sticks to them numbers, he can use anything he wants to do that. And what he was quite good at is, if he was going out on the weekend, obviously something like that, I try and do at least, at the very most, because he was actually quite a big drinker, 1 week on, 1 week off. And when you're going out, just planning around that, doing a longer walk before you go out, or budgeting the calories a little bit. So that was a massive success story. So like I said, put the figures on the screen of what the actual loss was, time frame and so on and so on. I think I've even got a testimonial video which I can put somewhere on, but this guy absolutely nailed it. Okay. Client number 2, Amanda. Now we have Amanda, we've used her, you'll see the picture here on the screen. We've used her a number of times on adverts, on little Instagram videos and stuff like that. She's been one of my wonderful assistants on loads of demo videos, so you might recognize her, but this is one of the best transformations we've done because the photos actually include a pregnancy pre and postnatal in between, okay? This was definitely after having her first son, which is absolutely amazing. To bounce back, to lose body fat like that, to be that consistent is absolutely amazing, especially postnatal, okay? Because things do get a lot harder, okay? Certain pelvic floor muscles aren't as strong. It is harder to bounce back. You probably feel very low, and to be honest, even without the whole process of giving birth, you're going to have a newborn, which is going to take a lot of sleep and a lot of time and a lot of energy out of your training after that. So considering this transformation was after her first little boy, this is absolutely amazing. Now, training split, believe it or not, with me was 2 times per week, okay? She only did 2 main strength sessions, training sessions, twice per week. The difference was she was heavily running probably 2 to 3 times per week. I'm going to say 2 times most of the time because that's probably what you did. And they were anywhere from 5 to 12 kilometers, okay? Now, when she came to me and she said, look, I've only got the time to train twice per week, this was actually in person as well, by the way, we made a training program where we covered as many of the bases as we possibly could throughout those 2 sessions. So when someone comes to me and says, I've only got 2 times per week to train, what we're trying to do is we're trying to hit as many muscle groups as possible across the 2 sessions. We're trying to increase the frequency, trying to get our most bang for the buck. So we stuck to a lot of compound lifts. So we were doing a squat and an overhead press on session 1, for example, a deadlift, a bench press and a pull-up on session 2, and they were the main compounds that we tracked and monitored. And then what I would do is every week I would rotate accessory exercises around to try and get the most out of the session. So a workout of the day could be like, it would have a salt bike in, might have push-ups in, and might have walking lunges. So she is hitting a little bit of upper body, a little bit of lower body, and a little bit of cardio in one workout, as well as doing all our compound lifts. And then on the second session, if it was lunge push-up, it might be something like a Romanian deadlift and a bent over barbell row, posterior chain, because we did all of the anterior chain on the first session. And then with that being said, there might be another cardio or ab exercise thrown in there for good luck, for good measure. And that is how you be successful as someone who's training twice per week. And these sessions were spread out, so probably most of the time Tuesdays and Thursdays. So around that, Mondays and Fridays, she could go and run anywhere from 5 to 10 to 12k, which she was pretty good at. So that transformation was probably across 4 or 5 months. Let's say 4 months for this photo. But because she was consistent with her running and consistent with coming with me, and her nutrition was pretty damn good, that was what happened. Now, Amanda, in terms of nutrition, was not someone who religiously tracked calories. All she did was eat healthy, eat clean, and follow a simple few rules. Lots of high volume, low calorie foods, so things like fruits and vegetables to try and obviously keep you satisfied for longer, and keep you fuller for longer, for little to no calories. Protein pretty much with every meal, lots of water, and again trying to keep drinking to a minimum and keep low calorie drinks, so straight gin, slimline tonic. If it was ever some sort of drinks, obviously postnatal you probably want to drink as well because you haven't for 9 months, so there wasn't any of that restriction, but that was a solid transformation again. Lauren, the next transformation. So Lauren, I will put the photo here, it's on my phone. She was an online one-to-one client, so that is available on adamcollard.com. You can go and check it out, yada yada yada, little plug right in there. But training program, 4 strength and conditioning sessions planned throughout the week and 1 extra session if doable. So sometimes with clients, what they will do is they can guarantee me that they will train 4 times per week, and they'll say, oh, some weeks I've got a little bit of an easier one. If we have room to play, we will give her an extra optional session on the academy on the workout that she should be doing. If not, we say make sure you get these 4 sessions in. So usually that is Work Capacity Wednesday, and what I say is get your lower and your upper and your lower and your upper sessions done and boxed off, because they still always have a little bit of conditioning, and make up for the rest of the time with an extra conditioning session, okay? So that is how we play the cards. Now, the main focus on here was to drop body fat. I want to say there was a serious amount of body fat. Obviously, on the photo on the right of the screen, you can see there is Lauren's abs are starting to pop out. The body fat percentage is dramatically lower compared to the photo on the left. Really successful. And again, the reason she was successful is she was monitoring her weights. She was tracking and logging the weights that she was lifting every week. She was trying to beat things, okay? So see if there was 4 sets of split squats on one week, the next week she was either making sure that she was beating the reps by a rep or beating the weight. And this is what guarantees your progress. If you are PBing in the gym and your nutrition is in check like Lauren's was, again, didn't give her any strict foods, you have to eat X, Y, and Z, and that's all you're allowed. What I did was I gave her a calorie number to hit every day on a training day, and I gave her a slightly lower number on a rest day. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what they are because what works for her will not work for you. Okay, that is my job and that is what I work out. So I went away with her results, tried to monitor her for the first 2 weeks, and then once 2 weeks was up, I had a perfect amount of calories for her on training days, on rest days, gave her those. She went away, she was super good with flexible diet, and she was delaying her breakfast, trying to budget. If she was eating out on a night, she has a busy lifestyle, has kids, has dogs, has a very busy job because she's self-employed, but she made no excuses with this transformation, okay? If I told her what to eat, she made sure she nailed the numbers, okay? So giving someone like this who has a busy lifestyle, not staple foods, not like exact meals that they have to eat, but giving them flexibility, they can get super creative and they can be super successful. This transformation was probably, again, 4 to 5 months. I will put the exact number, exact dates on the screen, but this is one of the ones that I'm most proud of, and it was the easiest client in the world to work with because she absolutely smashed it. She even came up to train with me one day at Sculpt itself, which is amazing. Right, next transformation. This is Chris's transformation, and as you can see on the photo, if you can on the screen, this was done in 6 weeks. Now the reason I am super impressed by this transformation is because it was done at home. It was done on our home bodyweight blueprint, and I think once he got maybe 4 weeks in, because this was in lockdown, I think he got some dumbbells, and he might have done the last 2 weeks on a dumbbell only program. Okay, we're back. Camera battery died. Had to go and give it a quick change. Anyway, Chris, now this was a fantastic transformation like I was saying before. This transformation was special because all of the training was done at home. It was during lockdown, it was only 6 weeks. He used our, I want to say, either male muscle program or just the body weight program that we do on the Sculpt Academy, okay? So he had no equipment at first. I think he got 2 dumbbells, kept on carrying on. Absolutely amazing transformation. Obviously the goal was fat loss. Again, like I said, who is Adam Collard? What type of personal trainer is he? I didn't give him any specific really crazy goals apart from every single day. If he trained, he had a calorie goal. If he had a rest day, he had a different calorie goal. He also had a protein goal, 1 gram per pound of body weight. And I did work out his fats and his carbs, but to be honest, because he was coming from such an untrained background, all I said was, let's nail calories, let's nail protein. And I want to say Chris trained maybe 4 days per week, only 4 days. Some weeks he might have put 5 in, but you've got to think the bodyweight workouts are pretty much 40 minutes or less, okay? Most of them are around the 30-minute mark. That's with a warm-up and then going straight into the workout. So not a great deal of time, well, no time spent in the gym, not a great deal of time working out per week. Got absolutely amazing results, astounding results, and that was in 6 weeks. So I'm very proud of that transformation. And the main thing that probably made Chris successful, other than other people in that transformation group, was the fact that he was religious with checking in with me, okay? He made sure that every Sunday when I put a check-in message, he was the first one on the check-in message on Facebook, like we do with our private challenge groups, always on it, and also made sure that his step count was very high as it possibly could be, considering he was only working out at home, which is amazing, okay? So that was a great transformation. Now, the last transformation was Johnny. Now, the reason this was very impressive is because he actually won the £500 cash prize on one of our last 8-week challenges that we ran on the Sculpt Academy. So what we normally do is we'll have a little bit of a hype for a month. We'll say this is a new challenge, there's going to be a cash prize, or there's going to be a prize of X, Y, or Z. We've done like trips before, we've done goodie bags, stuff like that, first, second and third. And Johnny won one of the transformation prizes, which was absolutely amazing. Now, we wanted to gain lean muscle and lose body fat. What do you do in that scenario? So I put him in a very, very slight calorie deficit. It was probably only 300 calories, 250 to 300, which is not too intense, but gives him enough to lose body fat steadily, but also gives him enough calories because he was coming from an untrained, untouched background, because he wasn't really training up until this point because it was post-lockdown and he hadn't trained in a long time, hadn't done anything in a long time. That is the only scenario you can build muscle and drop body fat at the same time. Okay, as soon as you went to the gym for a long period of time, you really have to choose a route. Do you want to turn this, like I always say, talk the thing about moving the needle, okay? You need to move the needle in the direction, either lose body fat and lose, or gain muscle and gain, okay? And that is the only thing you can do when you are in the situation of being a trained athlete, okay? However, when someone has